Hello and welcome back for Game 2, where Dignitas will be facing off against 100 Thieves. Let's jump into the starting lineup. Selecting blue side, it's Dignitas. In the top lane, it's Lolo. In the jungle, Grig. In mid lane, Demonte, bot Phoenix, support Ole, and Coach Simon.
Facing them on the red side, it's 100 Thieves Academy. You've got Fake God in the top lane, Contract in the jungle, Soligo on mid lane, Prismal on bot. Their support is Breezy with their coach, Moser.
Now, as a reminder, Crumb, 100 Thieves Academy are the defending champions.
They certainly are, yet there is really only two remaining players from the winning championship, Soligo and Prismal. They had someday before to really rally this team together across the finish line, and now they're actually still pretty good. They actually learned a lot from that time, and I think they've developed a lot as a team, and particularly I think Soligo and Contracts have been doing together to make sure that they have that early game synergy, whether it's snowballing with a Pantheon pick or making sure that the Lee Sin gets going. They're having a good idea about how to play the game, and it's netted them results.
Yeah, this roster's quite different, as you mentioned. We'll go through that maybe a little bit later. But I guess the question is, as the defending champions, can they beat the #1 team? Because Dignitas, despite some struggles recently, certainly still the #1.
And that question gets really tricky when we look at how Dignitas got so many of their wins. A lot of it was Acadian being really aggressive early on, and now he's gone. He's not on the Academy team. He's been playing in the LCS squad, so now Grig is back into the Academy lineup. This is a very familiar sight if you followed TSM last year.
Seems like they didn't want to swap again, and look what happened.
Yeah.
Big 7.
They got memed on when the rosters were announced, kind of foreseeing this to happen. It's funny that it happened, and we want to see the results that justify these swaps.
Only funny until everything goes wrong and the team start losing.
It could be funnier then, but that's only if you have a really dark sense of humor.
All right, well, of course, so look at the top lane matchup, because I think it's probably the most exciting part here. Fake God back in Academy. Lolo still looking to move himself back up to the LCS, but both have had fairly good splits. I think Fake God had an okay time in LCS with Someday down in Academy, but has had a very good Academy split so far. For Lolo, he's been here for a while, and he's played, that is actually an unbelievable amount of games.
212?
Yep, 212 LCS games.
Yeah, this man's been around for such a long time. That's actually really impressive. Dwarfs everything that Fake God had actually put down, and we're going to take a look at those stats. Solo kills and ISO deaths are all over Fake God. Very interesting.
I mean, in part, like, as you mentioned, Acadian was very formidable for his team, so I imagine Lolo maybe getting some help out there, but I think that does speak to the styles a little bit more. Lolo is a very stable player. He'll happily play, kind of whatever matchup. He'll play weak side. He'll play more carries if he needs to. He's played Kale, I believe, as well already this split, so he's kind of willing to do what the team needs for him, which, given that it's a very vocal team full of a lot of experienced players, I have to imagine that's important on Dignitas. For Fake God, he wants to be the carry of Academy once again. He went up to LCS. He did fine, but he got kind of beat up because he's, now a very small fish in a huge ocean in the LCS, but he was the king of Academy for a while.
Even against Lorlo, he looks like a small fish compared to how many Lorlo
hasn't even played as many Academy games before us.
I mean, Fake God has been entrusted with a lot of carry picks, playing whether it's a Pantheon or Lucian in the top lane. So I think that's where he's getting a lot of these solo kills, where he is being entrusted with having to pressure the map. It combos well with the synergy that Contracts and Soligo have been going for, which is snowballing those early leads with a strong 2v2. So I'm excited that that Fake God is actually getting kills, because that's what you want to see out of your laners when you're playing an early game style.
He's also getting killed a lot, though. As you mentioned, 8 isolated
He's getting killed a lot, so we don't actually know when those isolated
those could be
kills are happening, right? So he might have died 8 times in one game by himself, and then another one he just killed his opponent 7 times over. So there's a lot of combinations we could look for. I dream that it all happened in one game. He died 8 times and got 7 solo kills.
But it does tell you about, again, the style that he wants to play. Very aggressive, wants to take counter pick matchups, wants to play the Lucian and really take over games. So has kind of been the moniker of 100 Thieves so far. But as you mentioned, it's not like mid and jungle aren't pulling their weight as well. Both Soligo and Contract are having pretty good seasons. The last piece, though, is Prismal, who's continuing to grow as a player. I think maybe not making as many strides as we saw in his successful games. He has had some shaky ones as well. But Breezy's been maybe the biggest surprise. This is a never played pro before player, right? was an amateur, wasn't collegiate, but had never played at this level, and just kind of slots in as the final piece of this academy team for 100 Thieves, and is performing very well.
Yeah, and I think alongside Prismal, who had an almost MVP caliber performance last finals when 100 Thieves won, he's going to have an easy time adjusting to this bot laner that has a lot of very relevant meta picks. It's not like he's struggling to adjust with the Sennas or the Ezreals. He can play the Ezreals really well. Kai'Sa right now is pretty viable, and Xayah too. So I think that Prismal's champion pool makes it easy for a new support to come in and make sure that he shines.
Yeah, we did see the Prismal on Breezy Senna briefly.
Yeah, that was the thing.
That was not it. Prismal did say that he didn't play Senna, and Breezy doesn't play really range supports apparently. So that was kind of an awkward one to get.
So easy to play Senna. The champion is not hard, guys.
He now agrees.
Yeah.
Right? Prismal has Senna ready to go. So
Great.
I imagine that will probably be banned, given both Phoenix does like the champion as well. And that is kind of the other fun story, I guess, for Dig, is that, yes, it's full of very experienced players. Yes, it just seems like this roster was built to smash Academy, and in a lot of cases, it has done that, although maybe not as much recently.
I'm very suspicious, Pastry, because if your goal is to win Academy, you as an organization have to make the choice, because your resources are spread into both. And if you have to make the choice of playoffs in the LCS or Academy, a lot of these orgs are choosing, let's make sure we get into playoffs in the LCS, because you would not have moved Acadian into the LCS team had you not thought he was the stronger jungler.
Yes.
Or maybe Grig is an amazing fit for this team. We just don't know yet. But there's always growing pains when you bring in a new player.
Yep. And again, I think with Dig making changes this late, it does feel like, again, likely focusing on the LCS season, wanting to make sure they can hit playoffs there, but still want to protect this run in Academy, still want to protect their first place spot. Cloud9 are getting awfully close, Crumbs.
Yeah. Very close, and the bans, looks like Prismal does not want to give away that Senna.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Seems pretty good.
And a strange thing that I've been hearing is that Academy teams don't play Yuumi.
Interesting.
That they have a hard time playing Yuumi, because when you have these champions that end up being so perma-banned, you really don't get a lot of time to practice them, let alone play against them. And so the MO just becomes you have to ban it because no one knows how to deal with it. Not that it's broken, it's just that no one has actually had the time to practice against it. So this could be one of those cases. It's something that happens every year in every meta across all regions. It's one of those odd things that happens in League that just makes you question how much value you could get out of having an additional team to scrim against that can create those strategies and scenarios that you need to have so that your bans can be freed up.
Yeah, and that is one of the arguments as well for why Dig has such a strong Academy team, right? Just good sparring partners for the LCS team as well. But we've actually finished the bans already on Aphelios. Kalista and Pantheon finished out the last 4. But Set is open, and Set will be selected as Fake God straight to Aatrox. Old Faithful.
Getting rid of the potential counter steal out of the Aatrox, because we saw Golden Guardians play Set support.
Yes.
We know he can go in the jungle as well. And so if the Set can be flexed anywhere, you don't want to risk that they also take an Aatrox, which is going to be a strong pick into Set in the first place. So you lock it in right away. And the Thieves already have their physical damage core. The rest is going to be about getting magic damage and utility.
Yeah, Varus early here. Going to complement the Braum there that 100 Thieves now pick up. But we're actually done with phase 1 already. Ezreal Tahm Kench was the insta-lock for Dignitas up against that Varus. And Braum answered in kind there for the Thieves. So they'll have the more aggressive end of the 2v2. But Ezreal Tahm Kench is about as safe as it gets.
Yeah, and Tahm Kench is a good matchup into Braum, so he's going to have a fine time there. Expecting more of that farming style to happen with the Ezreal. Never looking to fight early on. This could be another Zoe kind of game, by the way. Ezreal, Zoe, TK can be a good poke comp, too.
Zoe's always open, it feels like. But we'll see what gets selected here. Mid lane bans so far. I mean, Qiyana can be flexed. Rumble certainly joining Qiyana as Damonte signature champions.
Concerned about those river fights and early battles. They didn't want to take it themselves. Damonte did not want to play against.
Oh, no way they're getting Zoe if they let it through there, I think is what they're thinking. So, not going to give it over. We'll see who gets counterpicked, though. Might just be a jungle here, and it will be. Contracts will take the lease in. You mentioned Crumbs.
I think a pick like Rek'Sai would actually be pretty useful here for Dignitas. You have a good way to deal with the Lee Sin, and you also have good gank setup so that you can just sneak by early game without having to worry about getting counter ganked. And if you pair it with LeBlanc, you got such a strong matchup. Please make my day. Lock it in.
Looks like a note there from Greg, so I think it will be the Rek'Sai. Has played a lot of Elite.
Oh, I feel
as always.
validated.
It is Rek'Sai. But more importantly, Crumbs is happy. LeBlanc, I mean, they had to leave something open against Damonte. So I imagine they probably had this predicted, but I do wonder what the counter pick is here for Soligo.
They really picked on Soligo here because he's been playing a lot of these champions, both the LeBlancs, the Syndras, and the Zoes. So
Also a big Azir player as well. Yeah, Azir strikes me as a little too volatile potentially in that 2v2. LeBlanc Azir is a matchup that goes back a long way at this point. And for the most part, if Azir is left untouched, LeBlanc actually can't really do anything unless she lands a full combo. But as soon as the pesky jungler comes in and you die once, Azir's life is horrible.
that's usually the LeBlanc life. Once she's never that good, but when the jungler shows up, she can be the scariest mid laner on the Rift. And Soligo, my friend, he's taking teleport against Ignite, LeBlanc, and a Rek'Sai. This could be
don't want to die.
a big trouble in the mid lane for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I'm imagining quite a lot of attention actually towards this top side of the map, but particularly in the middle. But we'll see what happens here. Damonte and Grig, not the tag team we were expecting after the first few weeks of Dignitas' play. The Bro Squad is down.
I don't think they expected it themselves.
They're friends, you know, been separated.
Oh, that
Now they're
hurts.
different teams, it does. And Grig, not a lot of time to adjust to this lineup, you have to imagine. So, see if Dignitas, who are in danger of losing the first place spot for the first time ever this split. They'll still have it, to be fair. They'll
have it, yet it won't feel as sweet as the undefeated run that we anticipated.
Well, 100 Thieves also up there towards the top of the standings. I believe a win here will tie them for third. EG did take that spot with the win in our last game, so 100 Thieves can continue to stay nice and close. And again, with how tied up the standings are, particularly in the middle towards those critical playoff spots between third and sixth, wins are getting both in short supply and extremely important.
Not just wins, but those head-to-heads as well, because Dignitas currently runs that one, but a win here from 100 Thieves could put them in a good position if Dignitas were to fall deeper in the standings as Week 8 comes through after today.
Well, see what happens here at level 1 as the teams will spread out across Summoner's Rift. Dig and 100 Thieves. It'll be a very competitive game here between the two. Definitely curious to see if Damonte can get it going on the LeBlanc. Always love to see him on flashy champions.
That is him, right? It's going to be for Dignitas, Damonte, and Grig to find plays early. There's not a lot of emphasis for 100 Thieves to do so. You've got the Orianna, you're happy to farm, but without cleanse, barrier, or heal, he really is a sitting duck against this. I am salivating if I am Rek'Sai and I see a mid laner like this with my own LeBlanc having Ignite and will be able to just set me up with a nice easy chain. Grig is also running Hail of Blades, so he's indexing into the early game to make sure that you can get the ganks going. You don't even need to farm. You straight up go gank to gank to gank and have such a good time.
I'm a big Halo Blades fan. It was nice to see that one change around to be a little bit more consistent. Although it is still junglers primarily taking it. Although Azir actually, a champion that Soligo did likely consider in this draft, also has taken it sometimes. It is also of note spellbooks for Soligo, so we'll sometimes have access to combat-relevant summoners.
Yeah, it will definitely help him out to just avoid the first gank, TP back in, and come back ready to deal with whatever Dig is throwing his way. It looks like if Rek'Sai were to gank mid lane, it will be from the left-hand side. So that's a side that LeBlanc just dropped a ward early, which will mean that they'll have access on any wards that Orianna would have placed to anticipate this. Here comes a gank on mid.
Interesting contract. He's going to land the Q, gets the damage down. Conqueror not procced fully, but decent bit of poke there onto Damonte will give Soligo control of the wave.
Oh, this is a good time for Grig, though, now, because Damonte can just heal back up. Grig is 3 and can go straight to mid. Let's see if he goes for it. He looks to be thinking about it. Oh, this is such a good gank right now.
ward as well here. They already know that the Raptor camp is still up. The Grig is going to sweep around. Trouble in top side as well. Fake God dunks Lolo, but Grig is being patient here for this mid lane killer.
Here we go. Not patient enough. Maybe would have had time to actually go for the Raptor camp. Needed to look at the wave. You see the wave is actually pushing in Orianna's favor, so you could have taken the camp or just waited for that to happen. And now Orianna knows where the gank is coming from, so she can hug the right-hand side, knowing Contracts will back him up, and the window that Grig had has just sealed right in front of him. Orianna will continue to lane just fine.
Of note, Contracts did kind of gamble running straight to this right-hand side of the map, and there aren't any camp for him to take right now, with the exception of that one right there, which is the Krugs that he'll start, as Breezy will move in and sweep at any possible vision, but there isn't any right now. So, as kind of expected, 2v2 pushing lead is going early in favor of Prismal and Breezy, but again, tends to be fairly low action lanes with the Tahm Kench and Ezreal. If something goes wrong, something usually has gone very wrong.
Yeah, they just want to hit those spikes, go back, get that Sheen up, or get a pickaxe so you can start stacking that mirror mana as quickly as possible. And meanwhile, in the top lane, the matchup that no jungler seems to want to assist with. And it makes sense. You know, they just farm. It's Aatrox and Sett. They're going to contribute in the team fight. You don't need to go crazy for this lane when you have way more volatile matchups in mid and bottom.
Yeah, top laners have been left alone since 2010, Crumbs. They're used to it at this point. Lolo especially, it's been around a while.
That's actually, I used to be a top laner way back, and then I kept playing games where I just heard my team lose games and I just didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
I want to be involved. Could I be part of losing?
I think you switched to jungle and realized, yes, you can. Prismal also took a beating in some sort of trade, but does have the TP, so you can use that if he needs to right now. But I did say nothing usually happens in the 2v2. I guess I was wrong, because whatever happened, it's going to force Prismal out of this lane actually pretty early.
What does he have? Well, with a completed Vamp Scepter, that's actually practically the perfect buy you want for this stage in the game. You can sustain yourself against the Ezreal poke and start building towards that Blade of the Ruined King, which is set to be the attack speed Hurricane Varus build, which is so popular now. He's essentially a better Ashe.
Quick TP back as well for Phoenix. Prismal did burn his, but Phoenix actually going for the aggressive first item first here for Ezreal, straight for the Sheen.
You have so much more lane presence going this way, and if you go with a tier route, you're actually spamming so much mana with how little damage you're doing. You're not actually getting that much, and you do stack faster when you have that pickup completed anyways. So you're not concerned about the stacking in the early part of the lane. You're more concerned about having lane pressure so that you can hit those items, and then you can worry about stacking when the value of the stacks increases.
Case in point, you did see Phoenix immediately go aggressive onto Prismal and actually do a pretty good amount of damage, but the Vamp Scepter has slowly but surely moved Prismal back up, as that is an excellent From E from Breezy.
Yeah, that's what you were highlighting him, right? Fitting in really well with Prismal, making sure that he knows exactly
The
when.
jig is up. Contract's been trying to sneak this Drake the whole time. Finally gets found out. Maybe he just wants to try and steal, but Demonte's going to try and kill him instead. Flashes forward, but Contracts will counterflash. Breezy, though, caught in transition, will die, but the Drake's still available. Prismal getting low. He's going to get sniped by Phoenix just barely on the end of the Mystic Shot, and that Drake gets donated to Dignitas.
Thanks for the leash, bro. That's what Grig is typing in all chat right now, and I'm surprised he didn't commit to taking that dragon and instead went for the chase, but he knew his team was there to back him up, so if he were to go down, the dragon is still secure.
Again, despite the farming back and forth, Soligo actually looking pretty healthy as far as the 1v1 lead goes, but was there very quickly for this rotation, and Contracts just such bad timing.
Yeah, unfortunate for him. They needed to just get out of here, but Dignitas committed so fast for this, and this is what I was saying. I think Grig could have just finished the dragon and then worried about the fight without having to go down, but a really nice Mystic Shot from Phoenix makes sure that you trade a 1-4-2.
And again, to misspoke slightly, Soligo actually was there quite early, is not as mobile as the LeBlanc, but the Shockwave only hit Grig, which could have been the difference there in the fight. Instead, it is Dignitas that take the Drake and the 2-1 kill lead. certainly not so far ahead at this point. Up about 1,000 gold.
Yeah, because that was not their play, right? They were not setting that up. They were simply reacting to what 100 Thieves were doing. And 100 Thieves has been committed to a lot of early game plans. This is what happens when those early game plans don't go exactly as you intended. You can lose these objectives, especially when you're trying to sneak dragons early.
We'll also have to refocus some of our attention here to the bot lane because they're fighting quite often in this 2v2. Although, as of course we pan down here, typically they're just farming back and forth. But Phoenix has been very willing to play aggressive on this Ezreal, which is nice to see.
If he's got an angle for a Mystic shot or even a forward arcane shift, he can go for it because Olay can always devour him and save him from whatever Breezy or Prismal throw his way. So it's a neat combo that can be really aggressive in the laning phase, but it's dependent upon knowing that Contract is not going to be there.
Contract's last endeavor around an objective did not go so well, but Dignitas will bring Set down to the Rift Herald here as he and Grig will be able to finish this off nice and quickly. So Dignitas will collect the second objective of this game.
Nice moves out of them. It looks like Grig, whatever synergy might he be lacking with his laners, he's making up for the objective control that you usually want. It's what is winning games right now, focusing on those Heralds and Souls. And if he can do that, you don't really need anything else from your jungler. As long as your lane can survive, which is why Dignitas has these veterans that they can lane well on their own. Grig just needs to do his job around objectives, and they'll be primed to go for it. Another win in their book.
Yeah, we didn't get his games played up on the screen, but Grig certainly has a number of competitive games, especially in Academy. He was, of course, part of the winning Spring Champions on TSM Academy for moving over. Well, that was, I guess, again, with Acadian, starting back and forth on either squad. Prismal left alone. Gonna get tongue lashed there. Ulti down onto the Ezreal. That was cool.
Yeah.
The ulti does not connect. Grig, though, may just turn this back around. Breezy gonna have to ulti early, does do so, but gonna get ulted by the Rek'Sai, and he's left for dead. Maybe a follow-up here for Grig. Gonna find the knock-up, gonna get the slap down, and that's an easy double kill. It's a Shockwave gonna find two moves to Haymaker over, but Damonte just barely gonna finish off Soligo, but does fall to the Spellbook swap Dignite.
Wow, 2 plays Dignitas makes on 2 different sides of the map. You almost never see that. You usually see one side playing safe and the other playing aggressive, but they find a nice roam from Lorlo to get a gank on mid and bottom. It's going to net them quite a bit of gold, only losing their own plate in the top lane.
Yeah, now that gold lead I said that wasn't that big a deal is becoming a bigger deal. 5-2 up in kills, up almost 3,000 gold with the Rift Charge. Going to get maybe an additional charge here, although Prismal going to try and shut that down.
That's out of nowhere, that gold lead that just got there, and it's those plates that they got in the bot lane. Let's see how the gank in mid lane first went out, because they have no vision in river, so Soligo does not know that Set is coming, and it looks like he might just get a nice angle from the back. No, it just starts with the chain.
And again, Soligo did almost everything right there, and at least is able to get the trade, but Lolo just there too easily, and now Prismal left alone, gonna get himself in a very silly spot.
What a cool interaction there.
Yeah, that was
like
cool.
The Lucian calling coming out of the top cans. This would be Ezreal. So additional Ezreal little trick. So if you didn't already know, you just buffer his ultimate during CC and he'll still get the ult off. But now we know that you can also do it during a Tahm Kench Devour.
It's even cooler because it's just like firing itself.
Yeah.
Ezreal's gone, he's done. He's cast the spell, he's out of there.
Magic.
It is magic. Now there's 3 seconds for this Cloud Drake to be up. Teams are already in position to fight for it, so don't think they'll be going quietly.
Flashes are up for Prismal and Phoenix, so the ADs will have a nice time here. Concerned more for Soligo, who's running Ghost right now, so if anybody can get on top of him, and you've got plenty of people that can with flashes on Rek'Sai and LeBlanc, he would be the most vulnerable target that they would be looking for if 100 Thieves chose to contest this dragon.
Yeah, it looks like they won't, though. At least if they are, they're going to go late. Low vision means it's kind of dangerous, and that Drake will already be finished off by Grig. So Dignitas will grab yet another objective for themselves, and Tahm Kench just going to go slightly over the wall, because Phoenix wanted a Krug, apparently. Looks like they're rotating mid, actually.
All right, yeah, just wanted to help out Grig.
It's level 1 Abyssal Voyage, so it's probably about the max range. Just trying to rotate a little bit faster. Breezy going to pick up the Honey Fruit. They do know that 100 Thieves are currently on the left-hand side, but looks like everyone's going to settle in mid here as Soligo has picked up the long lane in bottom.
I will add, if you ever want to make your jungler feel cared for, just throw some spells if you can when he's jungling and don't steal the camps. That's how you win the jungler's heart. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to say good job. You don't need to say thank you for ganking.
Actually help your jungler.
Just throw some spells out so that he jungles faster and you have a jungler friend for life.
Every jungler is like, just help me.
Yeah.
Just help. And everyone else is like saying the same thing to the jungler. No, you help me. It's your job.
Oh no, it's too true.
There's 3 of us, Linus, and 1 of you. Whose job is easier?
Someone has to be nice first.
It's true. It all starts with that heartfelt leash at level 1. Try not to ping too many times when the gank messes up.
I will mute your pings.
Maybe just, you know, take the G key out of the keyboard. Whatever key you use. You don't need it. Just take it out. All right, Contract's here. Gonna Q
How would
Ole.
you type GG though?
Well, that's true. You just copy paste, like pre-write it, copy paste in like a notepad, and then just move it over. You can also like rebind your pinky.
One of those. Yeah, that's
Take that one out.
I like when players have binds to just really long sentences that they type within 2 seconds of the game. Like, what? How did you type this?
And pass the macros. All right, well this tower's taking a beating here. Phoenix and Ole have had quite a lot of free time. Gonna get almost 3 plates.
Yeah, there's TPs from the top laners, so they'll be able to participate if a deep ward ends up being placed, but it looks like farming is just the MO. They're happy. Ezreal's poking. He's almost getting plates in the top lane, and they're already in position for the next Red Herald spawn. So Dignitas feels like their setup is going their way, so they're not trying to push anything.
Also curious to see what Damonte's first item is. He does have that revolver. Haven't seen a Gunblade LeBlanc in a while. GLP as well, maybe, which we do see that Soligo already has.
GLP LeBlanc, huh?
Maybe it's become a... GLP has just become a very popular item among mages in general.
Very gold effective.
Yes, helps you set up. All those things. But I wonder. I was a big fan of Gunblade LeBlanc when that was the thing. It's very satisfying to just mash all your buttons at someone and watch them die.
I really enjoy the healing component of it. That's one of my favorites. Just the fact that mages can get some health back, especially on a champion that's bursty like LeBlanc, that can have her entire rotation just messed up with if she gets poked when she distorts in. But speaking of getting messed up, 100 Thieves in the pit taking an Ezreal ultimate, and a fight is about to begin.
Yeah, Damonte again just getting aggressive. Oh, he's gonna blow up Contracts. Almost enough for the kill, but the TP is also going to be a big flank in the front side. Good devour there from Ole to save Grig. Contracts is out of there, but not sure they can win the remaining fight. A massive haymaker from Lolo. 100 Thieves running out of cooldowns, but Dignitas not that healthy either.
They can take this. Grig still has Smite.
Damonte also with the blue buff, going to go back in onto Fake God, but won't connect the chain. The Rift Herald will reset, but not long enough for it to go all the way back, so Dignitas will eventually win the battle for the second Herald.
That was really close to being a huge play from Dignitas. Contracts had a nice idea to smite the Herald to survive the LeBlanc combo, and I felt like Grig had a window to flash engage in, but it wasn't necessary. He's really keeping his head on his shoulders here to make sure that he's not dying unnecessarily and looking for the objectives. That's what they got. They got the Rift Herald, they were patient with it, and just gonna waste 100 Thieves' time.
Who's got what they came for as well. Keeping that gold lead still up by about 3k. Haven't grown it just yet. We'll see if taking another tower with this Rift Herald possibly can get them that gold booster after, but they'll also have to fight for this next Drake in about 20 seconds potentially. They already have 2. They don't need to rush for this one. But if they want to keep that soul nice and quick, as Grig will drop the Herald mid, that does seem to signal that it is time to play for this Drake. In fact, Phoenix is so far up in the lane with Ole, who has knighted him.
Before the Drake, they need to play for mid. Soligo is actually derouted. They thought they were having a fight, did not anticipate the Herald, but it looks like they're going to stop a charge. No, it gets the charge off.
It's going to get one. Does get a pretty significant chunk of damage done and gives Dig the inroad to this Drake more importantly. So now Damonte is going to play the flank. Dignitas will start this Drake though.
Okay, they have sight, and they've cleared out everything that Dig has, so Dig doesn't know that 100 Thieves is here.
He's going to try and fight again in the front side. That's going to be a kill. Damonte pop as Contracts kicks him for the execution. Now in a 5v4, feeling like they're the ones that earned this Drake.
Grig has an angle to steal, but that's going to be a one-way trip if he takes it. So looks like Dig is just going to attempt a steal and get out.
Gonna look for it. Does get it. Grig gets himself over the wall. Did have to flash though. Dig still pokes to try and cover the retreat and make it 3 Drakes for Dignitas.
Great combo there out of Dignitas to go for that steal. I really feel like 100 Thieves could have zoned out Grig better with the Orianna ball either on Lee Sin or looking to get him out of the pit. But all in all, they have superior objective control. And watch what Contracts does here. Flash kick, get out of here. Try to do as much damage as possible, but it was actually Prismal's ultimate that kept LeBlanc in place.
And again, it seems like, hey, it's all good. Got a 5v4, can play patient for the Drake, but just missing the smite battle. And then nobody chases Grig, although they will chase him enough now to force the flash. But very sneaky for Dignitas. They won't extend that gold lead. In fact, they'll fall a little bit down as far as that lead goes, but do claim the 3rd Drake to set themselves up for a very quick Mountain Soul.
That's a valuable Drake when you're dealing with champions like Varus, so you can just tank one of those empowered Qs and move right on through your team fight.
I think my favorite use of Mountain Drake this split, at least in Academy, was Cloud9 got it. King had like double lifesteal Misfortune. It's kind of like a Juggernaut AD. It was very scary.
Yeah, tank ADs. I mean, it's something that no one is prepared to deal with when marksmen are getting MR and armor enhanced for no reason, and then they have the shield on top of it with the lifesteal tanking. Imagine if you were a Mountain Soul champion with something like a Death Stance as well.
Oh, goodness.
Jeez.
Mountain Soul Riven coming to a solo queue near you. Alright, well, still trying to fight for these outer towers up. Both teams, Griswold and Breezy, going to get the work done. Contracts trying to get Grig, but he's very slippery on the Rek'Sai.
Contracts has a good advantage in these fights, being the red smite jungler here.
I still feel like 100 Thieves are trying to play the map a little bit more standard. This is the TP from Phoenix. He already has his Trinity Force completed, so much like Jeff's Ezreal in the last game, he's actually very powerful at this stage.
Crazy strong, actually. With the red buff, too, he's way stronger than Prismal. And if he catches him out, he can just eliminate him before he even gets a chance to ult.
Then Ole wasn't there for a little bit. Oh, Contract trying to find the play for the kick straight into the belly. Phoenix was saved, and now Breezy left out alone. Gonna get ignited is Prismal, but into stopwatch they go. Contract's able to get Damonte once again. And the ulti out of Varus is gonna keep everybody else from diving in, so it's actually 100 Thieves to get the kill there.
Yeah, what really close, but Damonte got a bit greedy, didn't realize that Breezy had that stopwatch, and that was what kept him alive. And he's gonna get tankier now that he's about to get that Stoneblade. We'll see how this all began, because Phoenix is a little bit out of position, enough for Contracts to think he's got an angle. You're almost never going to catch out an Ezreal without your flash if you're Lee Sin. I respect that he attempts it. And this poke should have netted the mid lane turret for Dignitas. It's so low, everybody has to base. Yet the overcommitment and greed for the kill means that now they don't get to take that mid lane turret and will not have that additional pressure that would have put them in such a good position for the dragon that's about to come up.
Yeah, have to think that Damonte also just misclicked his ignite. I imagine he wanted to click Breezy. I don't know if it would have made enough of a difference to get the kill through the stopwatch, but can't imagine.
I think he still dies. I think he still dies.
Oh, he definitely still dies. So nice play from 100 Thieves. Perhaps a missed up there for Damonte, perhaps not, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. What matters is this next Drake that's coming up, because 100 Thieves is going to have to shut Dig out of Soul all game long from this point onwards.
They need a pick, and it's going to have to be either Contracts with a Kick Flash or Prisma with another good ultimate. It was the ult that caught LeBlanc before. He can do it again. There's no cleanser QSS here. Only that GLP that we were talking about.
Also no Rage Blade either for Varus. I have to imagine he's somewhat close, but not going to have time to go get it because Drake's up in 30 seconds. Fake God does have TP, but he's trying to get the top wave pushing in the right direction for 100 Thieves as well. The battle over the mid tower is still going. Contracts every time struggling to get the LeBlanc away from him.
I would have loved to see Greg press R on that one. That was a kill. He definitely would have taken out Contracts, but they hold the same restraint that they needed to from that last fight, as the chunk is enough for them to go for the dragon, and they'll get that Mountain Soul for free.
They're going to trade for Baron here. 100 Thieves just decide they have to give up the objective, but they're not actually really trading for anything of equal value, so that does just seem like the Mountain Soul is going to be gifted over to Dignitas.
Yeah, they are going to get the tier 1 top, but a tier 1 for a soul is no match. That dragon was secured off of the hands of Damonte, going for a really nice play despite the 1-3 scoreline that he has. He has the Mountain Soul to his credit. I don't know why I keep saying Ocean Soul. It's just so pretty.
This is in the last game, and it's good.
It's the best.
It is the best. Damonte sweeping out wards, still contributing. Again, as you mentioned, despite the scoreline maybe not looking the best, Contracts, I feel like, has been found out every single time they go for an objective, and Damonte knows what his job is in those situations. So
it's really good about Damonte because we saw him learn within 2 plays, right? From going too much for the kill to just saying, you know what, we'll take it. We'll just take the damage that nets us the objective. And when you're behind in your scoreline like this, when you're behind in farm, it is a great hallmark of a talented player that you can still make plays despite your counterpart being stronger, and that's what he did.
Well, I'm not sure what 100 Thieves' plan is at this point, but I have to think it starts with contesting for this Baron, although both teams are firmly committed to knocking down the other one's mid outer tower first.
So I think the 100 Thieves game plan is revolving around the item spikes that they're going for, because they didn't feel like fighting before the Rage Blade on the Forest, and Orianna does not have a death cap just yet. So I think they're feeling like they need a little bit more power, especially to burn through that Mountain Soul that's going to provide such a buffer.
Oh, Phoenix almost going to find the snipe. Doesn't get it, but there's a true shot barrage. Breezy going to block. Wow. Thought Contracts accidentally almost killed himself there, but he's okay for now, but continuing to take harassment from Dignitas.
The Blind Monk continues to walk into danger and walk away with a sliver of health. If only he knew just how close he was to falling.
Well, no stone plate, but not needed there for Lolo. Just walks between the towers and zones them off. So there is enough space for Dignitas to take that mid-outer tower. And I appreciate the Contracts are still looking for plays, but every time it doesn't work, it's either a kill or so much of your health bar that you can't really contest on the map anymore. So it is tough out here for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, we appreciate that he's making plays. Sorry. And those plays are just really tough to pull off because of the time. Right, those plays look good at level 6 when there's one dragon going and you have a ton of damage relative to the tankiness and HP of the carries. But now, you know, level 11 Lee Sin trying to insect a 13 Ezreal or a 13 LeBlanc, it's not going to happen.
I think we have to look again to the carries of 100 Thieves, to Soligo and Prismal, or at least getting their second items online, and maybe to Fake God, who has got a very significant individual lead, about 20-30 CS ahead, 2 items, feeling pretty good. Set is pretty tough to bully out of a lane, but Fake God, again, we've said he wants to be that big carry player once again. He was given the Aatrox here, had his choice of what champions in this matchup. So maybe in the side lane or pushing and moving to a team fight, they can be magic made.
He's very strong. We just haven't seen his team fighting power just yet. I think only 2 assists and not a lot of screen time when it comes to these 5v5. So it could be a good chance for 100 Thieves to surprise Dignitas when Aatrox comes in, and he's incredibly tanky with the Death Dance right now. So getting him into the backline will be a priority for 100 Thieves when it comes to the next fight, which will likely revolve around Baron and Red Side Vision.
Yeah, already Dig have quite a lot of control in that area, actually. You can see their control wards littered in the river outside the pit. Breezy and Prismal still, again, firmly committed to knocking down this outer tower, and Phoenix says, all right, if you're not going to base, I'm not going to base either. Because I wants to make sure his team's outer tower is protected in mid. Kind of like Cloud9's out of tower, you know, it didn't die for about 6 weeks or whatever.
It's a good, fun fact to have that you kept your tower for quite a long time. I think as a mid laner, you feel really proud that your turret hasn't dropped as you're doing so much for your team. But they have to do a little bit more than just saving the turret. I want to see Dignitas push up and try to secure some vision because they have that power with the soul that 100 Thieves is lacking. I haven't seen them get the most out of it. LeBlanc can just continue to distort in and not get chunked out because she has that extra HP to burn through.
I mean, the space you have matters as well. This is, it seems silly to always harp on like, oh, like take the mid tower, it's so important. But the reason is because the amount of room you have on the map to do things relative to your opponents when the towers are unequal like this is absurd. As 100 Thieves going to brute force the issue, they do find Deathly. What an ult from Prismal. As the TP in from Fake God, going to maybe get more than this mid tower. They will at least get that. But where do they go next?
They could go for Baron here. This would be a good chance for them. Even though the death cap is not completed and Orianna is low on mana, you have the Rage Blade on Varus. Not a lot of vision for Dignitas, and no teleport on Phoenix either.
They've got 4 ultis, so 100 Thieves need to force something, but Dignitas still going to hang around the pit. Could be a bait all along. Fake going to miss the first Q. Pops his ulti though, going to look for Lola, who will be forced to flash away. Slows chain's going to land. Olay! Going to get him out of there, but now he's the one in trouble. He's forced to flash as well. But still getting chased. Flash Q from Breezy lands. Ultimate's good. Finds again the Tahm Kench. Olay can't devour himself, so no safety there. Elder Dragon is up.
Dignitas just escorted 100 Thieves straight to the pit, but Grig won the last fight.
Damonte now going to get outplayed by Contracts. Good tag. They need to keep chasing, but Fake God flashes in and can't get it. They know that's the fake one. Damonte going to get chased down, but he dodges that next Q and now distorts out. They're still chasing. Contracts gets in. The Ignite is going to force him away, though, but everybody's going in there. Prismal finally finds the flash Q and 100 Thieves. They've stuck in this game. Soligo zooming around with the TP. Gonna get knocked up by Grig. Shockwave there, but a double kill for Prismal is good as Soligo gets himself out to safety. And it's almost everybody dead. A triple kill for the Varus. Phoenix now gonna get himself chased. And 100 D's, another ult from Prismal! Phoenix, he's dead! That's gonna be the Quadra instead. It's
another one
that gets it as Olay gives the ace up on a silver platter, but 100 Thieves are bigger fish to fry. Straight to the Elder Dragon as they turn the game completely around.
That was like a 2-minute play that had 2 Varus ultimates catching out Phoenix. The man just can't catch a break. Prismal outplaying his marksman. And now 100 Thieves is in a great position. Gold lead, Elder primed to go for a Baron. What a change in pace. All from Prismal's great ultimate.
Just never expect, of all champions, we're not even going to get there. We have to watch the other end of the fight, Crumbs. It's too long.
What a kick, too. So the kick actually got him back into the chains. These interactions are just amazing here. I mean, I love how Dignitas can stall so much, trying to keep Damonte alive, but maybe trying to keep him alive was why everybody else went down. And this is nice from Grig, going for the flash, recognizing you can take down Soligo right away, but then Dignitas just still bloody, still hunting for it. This is just the icing on the cake, the fact that Prismal gets another ult. No time, back to Baron.
Yeah, we didn't see either time Ezreal got snagged by the ulti, but it's going to be Baron over. 100 Thieves really uncontestable with the Elder Dragon. They stole away from Dignitas.
And now they're really strong because Dignitas doesn't have wave clear. Right, it's only LeBlanc and Ezreal, and if he's using everything on the wave, the Varus and Orianna are gonna just pound your turrets. This could be the winning push for the Thieves, just like that.
It's ridiculous to think like, I mean, if you're Phoenix, right? There's no way you think you're gonna die. You're Ezreal with Tahm Kench.
With Flash. I think the question is, should he have bought QSS like Deathly did last game?
I mean, maybe, but again, you just never feel like it's going to go bad until everything goes wrong. And as you said, Crumbs, 100 Thieves now in a position to maybe win off this Baron. They're at least going to do significant damage. Don't worry about the gold lead. It's flipped completely back around, by the way. 6k up for 100 Thieves. Fake God's working on the bottom half. Damonte is still getting in there, but he does have the Banshee's Veil, so has some added protection.
Here is the split push. There's no one to deal with, so 100 Thieves will need to coordinate both mid and bottom lane waves to crash. That's what is going to allow them to break open the base and split open Dignitas' forces. If these waves don't crash coordinatedly, Dignitas can just bounce around between mid and bottom, clear each one, and that's what's going to happen. You see the bottom lane comes in here, but mid wave is not there. So Grit can just come down here, clear out the wave, and then return back to the mid lane when this one crashes as well.
Yeah, big wave on the bottom side though. Double cannons there for Fake God as the Chain of Corruption does hit Olay. Gonna get himself CC down, does go into the soup shield, but is just enough to make sure Prismal can finish off the kill, who's now unstoppable and deservedly so. They'll knock down the mid in here. They may stick around the bottom, but it's a little risky as Breezy's got not much health left. Not afraid though, puts up the door and walks straight down the bottom lane. 100 Thieves trying to finish off the game effectively as Lolo dives in there. Facebreaker gonna find two. Prismal low does die, get shut down by Phoenix, and I think 100 Thieves may have gone a little too far on this play as Fake God gonna watch the Ligo die before he falls himself. Into stasis he goes, but it's just delaying the inevitable. Phoenix is able to find the shutdown.
We're still in it, and Dignitas is still strong. Don't forget that they have an entire Mountain Soul in their back pocket. Let's see how this all went down, because you're right, 100 Thieves is chewing way more, or biting more than they can chew, with Breezy being so low, and it's Lorlo finding such a beautiful engage here. I mean, Prismal is not dealing damage throughout this entire time with that stopwatch in front of Dig's face.
Phoenix got, I think, 1,000 gold shut down there as well. Or maybe that was the total gold they got. Whatever it was, a lot of gold popped out of Prismal after that kill.
Oh yeah, they were just loaded with bounties, and they still are. Right, Contracts has one, Prismal still has his. Even though he died, it just shows you how far ahead they were.
Gonna reset things back more. We'll have to look for the next Elder Dragon in a minute 50. But 100 Thieves did so much damage off that play.
That inhib in mid will still be dead before the Elder spawns. So that should be what 100 Thieves can bank on. To control mid lane, spread back into the river, and then secure the second Elder, which was enough to get them the Baron. So I think they're feeling really confident despite the gold lead having been halved in just one play.
Yeah, you can see that this time it's 100 Thieves that have the vision first around the objective. So Ligo going to turn off the lights in the bottom right of the river. And Dignitas know they have to have presence on the map. Fake God still split pushing. Level 18 with the TP ready, but he's going to walk down early as Prismal now with 4 items and a Hex Drinker finished. He is significantly stronger than when we last saw him.
He has so much sustain with the lifesteal that he's going to build. Once he has the Lifeline passive as well, you're not going to be able to burn him down without having major grievous wounds applied. And that's why you have the Morellos and the Executioners coming out from Phoenix and Damonte.
I also like that Damonte is continuing his plan that worked earlier. When objectives are up, go for the jungler and try and force Contracts out. But 100 Thieves going to stick together and force Dignitas into mid lane. They're escorting supers. They've got a big wave in bottom as well. Dignitas maybe been on the map too long. Looking for a catch here, a dive from Lawler. Big face breaker into the Haymaker. And the Shockwave in the front side is going to maybe get a kill. No, it's Grig actually already taking down Prismal. That's a big carry threat down. Dignitas have found the fight they need. A Breezy going to die as well. A double kill for Lola at the end of it. Only Fake God left alive.
What was that? Why did Prismal flash to engage against the Tahm Kench? That was such an overreach from 100 Thieves. They pay so dearly for it. They're going to lose the Elder, and the Elder will net Dignitas the Baron as well. They might have just thrown the game right back to Dignitas.
Yep, he's going to be Elder. They don't lose a second inhib due Dig, although the tower does fall in bottom lane. Fake God is busy running interference. He's actually top lane, just trying to distract Dignitas from the greater objective of Baron that isn't up yet, but will be up in about 25 seconds. But Elder Dragon now available. Let's watch this one again. This looks so good for the Thieves.
Yeah, but there's no follow-up. Look, Orianna's not here yet, so Dignitas can just spread out. They're setting themselves up, and the tanks buy so much time in the backline. Varus is caught in the middle of this. He should be way in the back, so I mean, there's just no way that the Thieves could have won this. I don't know what they saw, but that Scryer's baited everybody else into that play.
Yeah, Lolo kicking things off right there. Just grabs Varus throws him into his own team, and then Grig was able to finish off the kill. Nice engage there from Lolo, who sees the opportunity that was given over. And now onto the Baron for Dignitas, and no vision for the Thieves likely means no contest either.
They're so deadly now. With that Elder, who knows if Damonte jumps on you, gets you to the Elder execution threshold, and you explode.
So just going to be buying time here now for 100 Thieves. Fake God and Contracts pushing down the bottom lane, threatening the open inhib, but of course Dig will swarm back to answer that.
Well, Dig can use everything to push now because this is what they have to do. There's no side pressure right now. It's being built up from Lorlo. It looks like he will be in charge of the bottom wave, so mid and bottom is the MO for Dig. Let's see if they can crack the base, because I think at best they might just get 3 turrets.
We're going to definitely get this one. Tier 2 and mid will fall. All right, that's the easy one to take. Lolo's still working on the bottom wave. It's taking a little while longer to get there.
This one's a tricky one because Orianna is really scary when you're sieging here. She can hide the ball very well. If you step up, you can get comboed out. And with the Banshees, she just hides so you can't even harass her.
Looks like decent sync here from Dig. Lolo trying to guide the next wave into these inhibitors, but 2 Baron Cannons already taking that mid-inhib tower down to under half health. 100 Thieves apparently not wanting to fight for this inhib. Damonte going to force them off. Nice use of the DLB just to play a little bit of zone. And that inhib in mid is dead, so they'll match now, but Dig will have theirs back up already.
I'm so surprised with how much respect 100 Thieves is giving Dignitas. I think that when the Banshees is popped, Prismo can just look for LeBlanc to go distort in, get that ultimate off, and you can kill her right away. There's no stopwatch. Tahm Kench would not have been in range of a Devour. And I know you want to play safe, but you also want to be close enough to the enemy that they are taunted into thinking they can go for a play that you can punish. Because if you're not even giving them that, then they're not going to overstep.
Yeah, it feels like, you know, one inhib, especially when the game goes late, as this one is now going, you can maybe, you know, have one person just full-time clearing the minions, and it's okay. 2 inhibitors, very different story as far as total map presence. We'll likely see the Thieves just glued up against their half of the map for most of the next 5 minutes. And that, of course, is enough time for the Elder Dragon to be back up. 100 Thieves staying out of the map here, being aggressive.
Dignitas has way more members here. Aatrox is teleport, but he's split pushing into the bottom. And it looks like Dignitas might want something to do here, but it looks like they're just going to go top.
Ooh, I like this. Olay, Abyssal Voyage up to the top side, completely cutting off 100 Thieves, who have to go the very long way around. In fact, they'll just go back to their base here.
They checked 100 Thieves twice, and they're about to go for checkmate. That 3rd inhibitor is going to be it, so the Thieves need to get a fight right now. Otherwise, it's going to be too late.
See if they make their stand. They clear out the wave first, but still pretty hefty. Baron has now dropped off, making their job a lot easier for defending. But of course, Damonte has guided the supers into mid lane as well, and Fake God does have to dip down the bottom lane. Dignitas just being patient here.
Top lane supers not here yet, but the minions are just to crash. With Fake God not being here, I think this is where they get the turret.
Gonna go for it. Contracts though, maybe looking for a play again. Watch Prismal's ultis, watch the Shockwave as well. Haven't really seen a team fight defining one yet from Soligo, but that could change here this late into the game.
So interesting to see that Damonte is no longer going for the harass that we had seen him in every other setup, really hunting down Contracts. Now he's playing way more reserved, looking to prioritize those minion waves, trying to coordinate that push, because that seems to be what is causing issues in continuing the siege, that Fake God can just clear bottom and continue to return to the top lane without anything else being lost for the Thieves.
Looks like Dig also are just playing for this Elder Dragon. This will be up in 55 seconds. Grig not going to be seen. Good news for him.
Once you are in a game where you got such a strong lead, kind of through, and then brought it back to a even point, your confidence in the kind of plays that you go for goes so low that you almost always result in focusing around objectives over absolutely everything else.
Yeah, just trying to end the game safely, it feels like, for Dignitas. Damonte, though, gonna get his Banshees knocked off, but the mini waves are just so favorable for Dig that even though the Thieves are here, they're actually potentially first to the Drake Pit if they wanted it, but I just don't know if they can stay out here long enough to contest for the Dragon. And Dig, again, have shown more than enough patience in this kind of situation.
Here's Prismal stacking up that Rage Blade. You don't want to deal with a Varus that has that stacked already, so he would really benefit if he can keep those stacks up before the Dragon fight.
100 Thieves definitely committed to trying to fight here. We'll start the Drake, it will shoot Damonte, but super minions in the bottom lane are going to cause a big headache for 100 Thieves. Now they have to pull off the Dragon, so Dignitas will start it. Fake God actually has been forced back. 100 Thieves going to have to start this 4v5 if they want to contest.
Here comes Damonte. Nice angle.
Spotted. Prismal is just going to shoot him once. Again, patience. The big one here as Contracts gets poked, but not by a lot. This Dragon is not dying that quickly.
The damage dealers are not on it, and Aatrox has abandoned the base and is thinking about coming down. I think the poke is starting to connect now.
Yeah, slowly pushing down. Damonte again, going to get the Banshee's Veil off. Grig going to get kicked by Contract with Prismal in there, keeping in from Fake God. Damonte, though, again feigning in. They're just going to have to go for the 50-50 maybe. Shockwave potentially lined up. Lolo again into the team. Three-man face breaker. Damonte dives in. Shockwave is decent. The shutdown though onto the set is good. 100 Thieves may have won the fight. Still alive. Looking again. Grig going to get zoned out. So that's Dragon over to 100 Thieves. Contract should be able to smite it down. 100 Thieves, they find the team fight win.
And they're going to get a Baron too. They're so strong. Prismal just stood and delivered the entire time. That was that full Rage Blade stack Varus that we were talking about. No tank can really survive against that. And if they can save this inhibitor and Nexus turret, this is everything that 100 Thieves dreamed of, the ideal scenario. You don't lose any members, get every objective, and save the base.
Gotta save the town. 100 Thieves will leave Saligo there. Damonte diving in onto Breezy. Unbreakable. Continued play here as Phoenix is also behind, but Breezy stand behind Fake God will be safe. 100 Thieves still on the Baron.
It's gonna be theirs. Dignitas cannot go for any inhibitors. Their consolation price is just gonna be a Gromp and a blue buff. So they're not feeling too good about that fight.
You mentioned confidence, Crumbs. We said that Dignitas still on top, but the losses they have suffered have been scrappy, and this game is getting real scrappy.
Yeah, let's see what went down, because the damage is really only LeBlanc and Ezreal. Set and Rek'Sai, while they got a nice engage, what happened to the damage dealers? Because we see that Lorlo goes in. He's about to go for it right now. Here it is. Phoenix is just not there.
Yeah, Prismal flashes out, just keep shooting, and that's all he needs to do. No one touching the Varus.
Yeah, that was how they won the last fight, right? Varus died right away. If he's alive, you just can't expect the DPS of your team to keep up with someone that doesn't even have to A-click anywhere. He's just letting his champion do his thing.
All right, well, the game is still not over. Gold lead is effectively irrelevant, although worth noting it is 100 Thieves to have the lead back. It has changed hands a few times this game.
Hot potato.
It has been very hot potato with the gold lead. But mid inhibitor will fall. Bot inhibitor probably soon to join it, as 100 Thieves just roam their way down. The Dignitas gonna now have to make their last stand in the base.
Round 2 there, successfully gets the second inhibitor, and Breezy is low again, but now they have that Baron and Elder lasting way longer than before. Going for the same move that Dignitas did on them. 2 inhibitors into the top lane in.
Yep, just the tutorial finish. Gonna clean it all up here. And as we said, Dignitas have not lost that many games, but there's been, again, some messy ones. They have lost the game with a soul before.
It's when it, which is crazy, right? Yeah. That is not
it's
a good.
possibly gonna happen again.
That is not what you want on your mantelpiece as a team that has lost twice with a soul, and it's been those late game decisions that have plagued Dignitas that have hurt them a lot, because usually their early game is fine, like we saw today. It's when those big objectives happen that everything needs to go perfect, that one little mistake can cost so much.
I mean, the team fighting 100 Thieves has also been impressive. The carries, Saligo and Prismal have played very well in this game. Good ult there from Breezy. Lolo again going to dive in, but Prismal just delivering once more to anyone who's going to try and challenge him, and Lola just cannot live through all of this. A double kill actually for Soligo as Greek dove in as well. And now 5v3 with all the inhibitors falling. 100 Thieves going to slowly but surely finish off Dignitas. I don't think that they can do much here. Damonte and Phoenix going to have to go real big to challenge this game.
Varus is full HP, still firing away. They definitely have
Shockwave
it.
finds Phoenix. He's going to get deleted. Yep, Soligo able to find it, and that's it. Nexus down, 100 Thieves. They're going to find the late game win, Crumbs. Soul be damned.
Wow, they actually pulled it off. The game swapped hands 4 times there, but it ends up 400 Thieves. They gotta feel really good about that. The mental resilience to know that you're down with a mountain soul, but you still have the way to win. Really impressive stuff out of this.
Didn't have it in them to really get into the celebration at the end there, but that was a long game. Like, very draining to play that kind of game. And 100 Thieves stick it out.
Yeah, I mean, I gonna give kudos to Prismal there. The
Yeah.
Varus catching out Ezreal was the biggest play that they made that started to set the momentum in their favor.
Yeah, dying once as Ezreal. It's just like, okay, you made a mistake.
Without shifting, he had shift and flash.
But then he died again.
Did the same
100
way.
Thieves eventually won the game. We need a break, but we'll be taking a closer look at that comeback win right after this. Welcome back. It is time for some highlights. And Crumbs, I have a funny feeling it's going to be a long section of clips because that was an extremely long game.
But a very exciting one because we had a
was an
lot of
exciting game.
cool interactions.
All right, let's have a look.
All right, the first one
Oh,
here.
they're level 4. That's
Yeah.
very early.
Throwback there. This was 100 Thieves trying to start the dragon without any other help. But Dignitas with a really good collapse. This is where we felt like Dignitas was gonna start off on the right foot. We'd seen Dignitas be in this position before, and then this is the cool interaction that we're talking about. Bam. He keeps his bow down there.
And again, Grig's here. They're going to try and even the score. Breezy tries to get away. Cannot get away.
And then the smite movement speed to get Prismal there. Scary for Marksman to have to deal with a Rek'Sai, but unfortunately that was not a Rek'Sai highlight reel. It was a reel of the entire game, which part of that's the interaction that we were talking about, right? Where Tahm Kench has Ezreal inside him within a kick.
Yep, he's the one that's getting kicked. Don't worry about it. Working as intended. Really nice buffer there from Olay to make sure the Devour goes off. Contracts, I mean, I love the attempt. I didn't even see him use the mini whip to ping pong. And then again, Lourlo just looks like he's ending the game with that initiation that 100 Thieves did not need to opt into.
It felt like this was where Dignitas was gonna end the game. The 100 Thieves threw 4 kills back Dignitas' way, plus a bunch more gold, but it just was not enough. It ended up being Prismal standing and delivering with a full build Varus that out DPS and melted every single tank on Dignitas.
We don't have time for the back-to-back Ezreal picks that got us to this point. But again, great flash from Prismal. Lourlo tries to make it happen again, as we saw in the last fight, but when you can't kill the Varus, he kills you.
So much damage, and keep in mind, he's got Hurricane bolts there, and Phoenix is just thinking, like, what am I supposed to do here? I can't out DPS this, not in this fashion.
And then that is Elder Dragon over. The Dignitas have to bail, so they go to Baron. And then it looks like we're about to finish off the game here. Again, a lot more happened between that and this, but we don't have time for absolutely everything, as you can just see at this point. 100 Thieves, very coordinated, very strong.
Yeah, the kite back got really good. Once their items allowed them to survive Rek'Sai and stick
look
together.
at that gold graph.
Oh my god.
That is wow. That is truly a theme park attraction.
Yeah.
That is.
If you like surprises, you're gonna want to watch this one with the spoilers off.
Yeah, almost 44,000 damage from Phoenix. I mean, everyone did their part there.
That's just one of the most bizarre graphs. I think a really interesting segment, you just look at gold graphs and be like, what game was this? Can you remember this?
Maybe I remember that game. That was pretty wild.
Yeah, with a graph like that. And it was one of the first losses second loss that Dignitas suffered with the Mountain Soul behind them. So something to address. No one else is really pulling off these losses, so I think they have to look into what is actually happening, because it was with both junglers. First with Akaadian, now with Grig.
Yeah, it just feels like the late game especially, maybe not quite all together on the same page. Early game looks fantastic still.
Yeah.
Like one of the most dominant teams in their lanes. Makes sense given how they were playing in the early season, but when you look at the difference in their wins and losses, it is almost a different team.
And that different team feels like it shouldn't be happening to them. These are veterans, right? They have a defined identity of how they want to play the game, but clearly maybe so many voices ends up with too many cooks in the kitchen, and indecisiveness shows up on stage.
100 Thieves to their credit. Some newbies in the lineup and still looking good, able to grind out that win. We've got one more Academy match coming up though. It is Golden Guardians versus Immortals.